Oh, man. There was a slaughter at my homestead this weekend. It's a brutal one. You know what? We've been killing the charts too, but I lost 70% of my chicken flock, maybe even more, 80%.
Probably.
A bunch of foxes took them out, Isaac. Now I'm on the edge. I'm legally obliged
To murder them.
stop the onslaught. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to have to rebuild better, stronger, faster than ever before. But we are killing it on the trades, folks. Make sure you're following me at Drew Crypto. I put out in the Discord late last night an entry point for a long position. $92,800. Boy, howdy, did I get into that bad boy. Still into most of it. I clipped some profits here at about 94-ish. We are retracing right now, but it was just nice to get another trade in. Isaac, you just put a trade in here.
I just put a trade in as well, but I'm a little down, but it's not that bad. So I'm just going to keep riding and see where we bounce, you know?
You know what? It's all about the learning process, baby. It's all about the learning process. Before we get into all this crazy news, $330 million in Bitcoin gone, vanished, heisted. Michael Saylor has reached 2.6% of the Bitcoin supply in Strategy's possession. Absolutely insane. Plus some extremely important lessons about altcoins that we must take a look at today, and the hard truth about the difficulty that is involved with outpacing Bitcoin and the upswing there within, as we are looking at a state within the United States getting ready to be the first to do the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Massive, massive news. So much to go over. Plus a power outage. I didn't tell you this. Spain and Portugal blackout across the country right now. Absolutely crazy. So we're going to take a look at that. Welcome to the show. Gay GB, Big Hands, Dan, Crypto Stevo, Albin Lind, Nicole Minas Teta, Chasti. Let's see here. Porter Crawler, Crypto Glassworks, DeFi Crypto Airdrop, Papa Goot, DJ Flexa. No, it's not Wyoming. We'll stay tuned. I'll get you that. And then, of course, Crypto Stevo. Great post he tagged me in, and just really want to emphasize the lessons that Stevo is calling out too, because it needs some focus. But let's get into it here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We have 77,600 subscribers as of the time of this recording. Welcome in. Also, if you guys are in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, you're fucking up, first of all. So click the link in the description, join the Discord. Me and Isaac are going to be spending basically every day live
every morning
on the Discord, doing live trades, talking about the most important things, having one-on-ones with our key peeps of the community that decide to come in there and hang out with us. Win Lambo. Who needs a Lambo when you got this?
When you can get a Maserati, baby.
Look at this. I am shocked. You can get a 2015 Maserati for $18,000. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
Beautiful. 400 top speed, around 190 on these suckers, bro.
I mean, this is great. This is great. Who needs, and I probably still can't get something like this because I can't fit all the kids in it. But, something I was thinking about, Isaac, I'd be better off if I just bought like a 6-seater dune buggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I can put all the kids in it and do donuts in the prairie. Maybe. That actually sounds like a bad idea when I said it out loud like that. Maybe just me and my son will go do that. But yeah, who needs a Lambo? $17,000 for a Maserati? Are you kidding me?
Who cares about if it's freaking, expensive to repair when Lamborghini is going to be the exact same, if not way more expensive to repair.
That was one concern, is how much does it cost to fix? How much does it cost to fix is the big question there. Because Maserati parts probably aren't cheap.
No. But neither are Lambos, so you can go ground.
Isaac's crashing out today.
Not necessary. I'm crashing out today. What am I talking about?
He's crashing out. He wants the car. I
do want it.
Let's see when we get rich. Now, how's the market doing? Let's take a look at this. Bitcoin. This is wrong. This is the prices this morning. We're at 93.7. Ethereum still under $1,800. XRP putting up some decent numbers on the week, 6%. BNB still holding strong above at $600. Solana chunking back up to $200. That's good news. Thank you, fam, for all that you do. Means the world. Smash a like, share, and then go buy tanks and pew-pews. What up, Nicole Ministator? Member for 18 months.
Solid.
She might be the longest standing member of the blockchain basement.
Possibly.
Absolutely crazy. Look up the Toyota Hilux. Not available in the USA. Yeah, the Hilux is. I've always been watching the Hilux. I think you can get it imported. I think maybe.
I don't know.
I know you can get a new FJ imported.
Mhm.
I know you can get a new FJ imported. I did see a Hilux for sale here in Georgia as well. You can get them on the aftermarket side there. But let's see where Bitcoin is as of right now. Here's the trading journey. Let's hop on over to here. So I have a stop loss protecting the original trade, which entry point's right there at 92.8. Took some profits right here at about 94.8. Wish I would have clipped the whole damn thing though. I mean, things just, what I was trying to do is break through this 95.5 resistance zone, which is a absolute battle, as we've seen this morning. Absolute battle breaking through this 95.5 zone. Still got some riding on the heels of this. And then the other trade, I'll share my other screen here. I'm going to take this screen down and then present the other one, Isaac.
That was great.
Let's see here. Chrome tab, window. This is it. Okay. So this is the other trade. Let's see how this comes out.
Oh, look at C90 though. C90 member for 20 months.
20 months member?
Oh.
Whoa. C90FTW coming from the top ropes. This trade's definitely still open. I'll scoot it out here a little bit. So this one, I'm just never going to close. I mean, I have a take profit at about $150,000 on this one. I got it in at 75. Is what it is. Already clipped a good amount of the trade right here in the shelf at about 84. And then took even more off the major trades at about 87. So, I'm just letting this, and this trade is allowing me to avoid FOMO because we all feel FOMO. Seeing the green candle come across, you're like, fuck, I need to get in on this trade. A good way to avoid that FOMO is to leave a little bit of the trade on the table so that you're always up. And I mean, this thing's up to, what is this up to? 616% off of just a little bit of scratch left behind. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not bad. What up, Rowan Films, aka Bobby? Good to see you. Let's see here. I like reading the chat here. We got Rowan Films, Bobby up in the chat. 08 Sierra still kicking 200,000 miles in the next month. Very nice. Nah, bro. I'm an OG2 noob tube. Oh, is that flatulence? Or no, that's Doobie Doo.
Doobie Doo's flatulence.
Yeah. 17 months on Shake and Bake. Nicole Ministator's outdoing Shake and Bake on the members time frame.
You want to see how long? I'm gonna go in the chat and I'm gonna show you how long I've been in here. You suckers.
And you guys, if you want to catch the live trades as they go, you got to become a member. And then you get in the OG chat. I drop the trades right there. It's $5 a month. Made fucking $2,000 in 6 hours. Easy calls, easy money. Just got to be based about it. Don't get the FOMO about chasing trades. Catching up. Oh, snap. Big hands Dan.
14 months, suckers. I'm catching
You're
up to y'all.
14 months?
Yeah, look at
Jesus. Well,
on,
before we
baby.
get into too much of a pissing contest here,
I'm gonna piss in everyone's mouth.
You're crashing out so hard right now, Isaac.
I'm just messing with you. It's a great day. It's a beautiful Monday.
I remember when I was 18 too. Though.
Yeah.
And we work in an industry where there is so much appearance of excess when really, a lot of it comes with a big void. Isaac, you got to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Feel fulfilled inside here. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. You just entered the trade, didn't you?
Not just enter the trade, but
where'd you enter it
at 93.7.
Okay.
Where is it? 93.756.
Okay.
So not bad. That's where the liquidity was. I wanted to get the liquidity grab.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out. So yeah, you grab that little thick white line. I mean, there is some smaller pockets here left to grab, but it would not be crazy to see it kind of peter out and start moving back up to the upside from here. Let's check it out. And then we go to the volume profiles. Let's check these out because these are going to matter quite a bit. I'm trying to find our support level. So let's see. This is why my stop loss is below here because I'm figuring this volume node at 93.4 will be able to hang on to us pretty good. Not too worried. Honestly, I'm really not that worried about this. I am seeing little bit. Oh God, we were trying to put a bear div here. Now it's starting to kick back to the downside, but I'm gonna just keep this on. Keep this on
1
the
hour
watch.
bear div.
What's that?
1 hour bear div.
Let's check the 1
15-minute bear div.
Let's check it. Yeah. There you go. A little bit of it. A little bit. So we'll see if the rest of this trade makes it. You know what? I'm not mad because I already had a great trade this morning. And I'm living in gratitude.
Nice.
Ooh. Thinking about living in
shit.
gratitude. Walking with a smile on your face. You know what? I have a great wife and she gets me on the best supplements. Maybe the best.
Maybe the best. Huge.
I'm taking NMN, which I need to take tonight. Methylene blue, assumedly going pretty good. Magnesium's
great.
The omega oils, very important. Then what else? God, there's so much. I think it's like ashwagandha stuff.
Ashwagandha is great too.
Yeah. I just have like this concoction of things that are just making me feel absolutely incredible. If you don't have a wife that knows what to give you to make you healthy, you get yourself one. Okay. Now, crypto saw its largest weekly outflow or inflow rather over the entire year, a massive spike coming in to crypto. Beautiful to see. Shout out to Music Tags, been here since October 17th of 2022. Badass. And Kelly Kellum dropping the memberships.
Oh shit.
Hey, all these new people in the membership now. You can go to the OG chat and catch every single live trade. I put it up literally, but you know what I did is we were at 93.5 last night or like in the middle of the day. And I was like, you know what, guys, be careful about getting into along here because we have a larger liquidity to wash out at 92.8. So that's what I'm getting at. So I put it in. I put it out like 4 hours ahead of it actually happening. It happened. Put my trade in. Absolutely went ballistic. So catch you that alpha. Okay. Now the supply squeeze stop. Bitcoin exchange balances have dropped to a 5-year low. The price surge coming anyways, I think, so this is kind of like a title. Bitcoin balance on exchanges has dropped to its lowest level since 2019. Historically, such declines, it's actually as bad as 2018. Historically, these declines have often preceded price increase as shown in the chart. Could we be seeing the beginning of this? Now we compare this and overlay this in our minds with the money flow going parabolic with the Bitcoin strategic reserve on a very, very key state within the United States on the edge of being passed right now. This is the supply shock that we were born for here in crypto. This is why the finite amount of Bitcoin, immutability, the transparency of it, this is where all these things come into play and why Bitcoin is the alpha when it comes to monetary value in the world. And gold, you've been around for a long time, but we're witnessing some of the biggest transformation in human monetary transfer we have ever seen before. So pat yourself on the back for being strong enough and wise enough to look at this stuff while the sentiment is still in the middle. People don't know exactly what to do. You guys are going to witness a hyper Bitcoinization over the next few decades. It's crazy to say, but it is happening. What up, Kelly Kellum? Now, let's go to the next stuff here. Arizona. 2 Bitcoin reserve bills are scheduled today for a final reading. This is absolutely great. We have New Hampshire right behind it, and then Texas. As far as the procedures, they're making it to the end zone here. Arizona is. Texas and New Hampshire right behind it. Alabama right there. Kind of cool to see. Florida coming in right behind Alabama. And then Georgia.
Yeah, baby.
Take that, liberals.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck all. Everything.
God,
Bitcoin
see,
to 150K.
Your crash out is just so visible. It's all right, Isaac.
I'm here for the fun and the games and the entertainment.
Well, and you're in the process of learning how to trade, and it's an aggravating process.
Oh, I'm fine with the trade. I have no issues with this trade right now. I'm doing swell. I'm flatlined again, but that's okay. At least I'm not down.
Yeah. Pass the shine. All right. So now this is a good overscope. I really like this. So Iowa is behind Georgia. Georgia right behind Florida, and then Alabama ahead of Florida, and then Texas, New Hampshire, and Arizona. And Arizona is right to the finish line here. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this today and over the course of this week to see if this is actually enacted, because this is going to be a massive precedent set by the state of Arizona. Now, Let's talk about this.
Yep.
There's a grid failure today
Fun.
across the country, across two countries, Portugal and Spain.
Mhm.
Portugal's grid operator says it's impossible to predict when electricity will be restored. People are asking what the hell's going on. When will the electricity turn back on? Some further info here from Mario, EU Council President. There's no indications of a cyber attack like they would tell you if there was.
No.
Right? I'm in touch with Sanchez, Pedro Sanchez. Vote for Pedro. And what is this guy's name? Luis Montenegro, about the widespread power outages in Spain and Portugal today. Grid operators in both countries are working to find a cause in restoring electric supply. At this point, there are no indications of a cyber attack. They would never tell you if there was. People would be losing their minds if they heard that there was a cyber attack go on. But your grid is so vulnerable that even a trip up or, here's the thing. 33, I think it's 32, 33 different transformer stations in the United States. It only takes 9 of them to go out for the entire grid to be blocked out.
Yeah.
So the system is fragile. That's the moral of that story. Here's Antonio Costa. He's in touch with Sanchez, Pedro, and Luis about this. Now, this is kind of the scenes going on here. Mass blackouts in Spain, Portugal, and even parts of France. The cyber pandemic. This is where the creepy part about what Klaus Schwab was talking about comes in. We got to think about this. Yeah, I like Aether, Brian. I had to get out before the crash. I haven't gotten back into Aether. So here's the thing. Klaus Schwab talked about a cyber pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave the keys of the castle of our electrical and data grid over to the World Economic Forum to test Cyber Polygon, which is a training exercise that was led up by what country do you think led up the training exercise of a global cyber pandemic, Isaac?
Probably Russia.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Russia. So Russia was given the keys to the castle. Some real big things to think about there, right? And then, you get into the whole idea of, automating everything, turning everything into a online database or something like that. What if the power goes out? What if you get hit by a tornado like I did a month ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the examples. In my city, they took the analog tornado sirens out and then gave us an app that relied on the internet to send us notification. Guess what? The internet goes out as the tornado's hitting. You don't get the notice.
Exactly.
Ducey does. Member for 22 months. Is Ducey the longest standing member?
I know. It might look like it.
Holy cow.
Come on.
Today is the election day in Canada. Canadians, please go out and vote today. We need change. For the love of God, vote like your lives depend on it. If you expect, in Canada, yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I know we have a lot of Canadian viewers, a lot of Canucks in the chat. So make sure to do that. Let's see here. 4 hours max, fellas. What is C90 FTW talking about? 4 hours max?
Don't want to know.
I don't want to know?
Nope. Don't want to know.
Okay. I'm going to trust you on this. Okay. So, now we're back in the 90s. Here's the Bears just trying to stop the inevitable bull run of 2026. And you know what? This is going to be a highlight of Bitcoin maxis at the end of the year. When the altcoin psychopaths have 1 or 2 months where just massive outpacing Bitcoin's upswing, they're going to freak out. They're going to crash out. And then altcoins will crash hard and they'll be back to their ways. I mean, this is just the ebb and flow. And in crypto, you're going to feel like a genius 1 month and a moron the next. It's just the way it goes. It's just about protecting profits, knowing that you're in it for the long term, that you see the shift that's happening on a global scale, and you're positioned ahead of it. That's all. It's a very simple combination of things. Now, Coinbase is going to launch their Bitcoin Yield Fund on May 1st, offering 4 to 8% returns to non-U.S. institutions. More pressure on banks to adopt or die.
Mm-hmm.
That is what's going on right here. Banks either adopt and offer yield on people's money that's in the bank, or they are going to be done away with by a more competitive, better system. That is all that I see with this. It's not a small conversation, it's a large conversation, but I can give you a quick synopsis. It's adopt or die in crypto and DeFi in terms of being a bank. And sure, they can act like Bitcoin doesn't exist and that nothing's going on for maybe the next year or two until the treasury is literally buying Bitcoin. And then they're all hell breaks loose at that point. But someone that sees this coming from quite a long time ago, Michael Saylor, and he just bought $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. Strategy is currently holding $52 billion worth of Bitcoin at an average price of $68,000. He now holds 2.6% of the supply.
Oh, Lord.
I am starting to feel extremely uncomfortable with the size of bag that Michael Saylor has. And it's not Michael Saylor in particular strategy. It is a huge concentration of Bitcoin in one bag, right?
Yeah, totally.
Something to think about in here. Now, here's a little bit of TA from the Nasty himself, thinking that we got a Bitcoin head and shoulders building up, left hand shoulder inverted right there, the head, and potentially building out a right shoulder. We are running into a little bit of headwinds here, though. So a little different than this general thought, but I'm tending to agree with Zach Nasty on this movement. A couple months, maybe a month or two of chop as this tariff bullshit takes time to get figured out, as everyone realizes that China's just this paper dragon that can't stand on two legs without monetary easing. And then everyone gets back to business and risk assets do as they do. Now, there's a big heist in Bitcoin 9 hours ago. Suspicious transfers made from a potential victim of a 3,520 Bitcoin bag worth $330 million. Here's the theft address from Zach XBT. Shortly after the funds began to be laundered via 6 instant exchanges and was swapped for Monero, causing a Monero price to spike 50% in the span of just a few short hours. Let's go show this on the visuals here on CoinMarketCap. Let's go. Monero. A lot of people are like, why would they use Monero? Obviously, if you're asking why they would use Monero to get stolen funds out of the way, you're new to crypto and you got a lot to learn. Okay. Here's Monero on the day, on the 7-day. Massive spike. It went up to $330 there for a minute.
Jeez.
Now we're at 265, but in general, just a major pump. Shout out. It's crime season. Monero's doing great. Now, S&P 500. Speaking of crime, soared 4.5% this week, the third biggest week since October of 2023. And in general, this pullback, it looks like the beginnings of a bear market.
Yeah.
A bear market is like a 30% plus pullback. That was a 20%. That's no bear market. That's a reset. That's a price reset. No biggie. The markets are going to slough it off. I don't really think I'm worried about it at all. U.S. SEC Crypto Task Force to host a crypto roundtable on May 12th titled Tokenization, Moving Assets on Chain, where TradFi and DeFi meet. And this is where Paul Atkins is going to beat the shit out of every RWA project that has the same setup. This is the thing, is when we were looking at Ohm, everyone's like, Drew, you're always talking about RWAs. You have to look at Ohm. Mantra, it's the next big thing. You got to do it. Why aren't you looking at it, Drew? Because it had $4 million in total value locked and it's $6 billion valuation. If that doesn't put off a little like, hey, maybe there's a problem here and things are kind of sketchy, then I don't know how to save you. Okay. I don't know how to save you. We always try to do the comparison of how much money should be, in the total value locked and then how much they say it's worth on these stupid graphs. And if you can't put the two and two together and realize you're going to get rugged, I swear to God, I do everything I can to help you guys. I just get a little bit of aggravation from it.
Okay.
I get a little bit of aggravation from it. Yeah, that's kind of a divergence. So, when we see this, because and also be very wary of something that's just constantly hyped online, right?
Please, for the love of God.
If you see like these hype armies coming out just nonstop, just take it with a grain of salt. Now, this guy, Soros plant, Scott Bessent, handed ABC their ass on a platter when they blew him up, blatant bias covering the stock market. So here's just him. I haven't heard the story about the biggest stock bounce since ever, which is one of the biggest stock bounces.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to bring this guy up is he is a literal Soros currency war chief.
Mm.
And so this guy is now in control of the treasury. We talk about drain the swamp and recapturing America's sovereignty. And we're sitting here like putting the Soros DAs and judges in jail for dissenting against decisions made by the federal courts, right? So that's a great start. But we have a currency war chief from the Soros organization that brought the UK currency to its knees, seeing the weakness. Now, hopefully he uses that knowledge on our side, right? And protects us from, because he could easily put his finger on the scale of the Chinese real estate market and cause the same kind of cascade.
Yeah.
Markets would crash hard. But there would be one remaining, which would be, and you know what? The dollar never went anywhere. You go shopping on Temu and all this crap, you're still paying in dollars. You're still paying in dollars, even with all this brick stocks, all these brick talks over the past year or two here. It's still laughable. It's laughable. Now, Dallas Fed's print is the worst since March of 2020. Hard to reconcile with the activity here, but have to believe the tariff uncertainty and reduced flow of cheap illegal labor weighing in on the responses. You know, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. Honestly, like the cheap labor thing, it's going to be automated out. Like, who's going to pick the strawberries and stuff? Maybe you should have had slaves there to begin with. Maybe. Right?
Interesting.
Is that wrong to say?
No, but it's definitely a highly controversial topic to talk about. But yeah, I agree.
It sounds reasonable. And you're having someone do one of the most dangerous jobs out there for like $4 or $5 an hour. What? Because they're illegal and they're undocumented. So you can take advantage of that and pay them pennies to get their hands stuck in a tractor. Jesus, that sounds wrong to me. So, and with no healthcare insurance also.
True.
So there's that. Maybe don't do that in the future. But you know what? This is all leading towards they're going to automate. They're just going to automate the holes in the economy. And they're going to put these little bots out there, you know, doing menial jobs. We already see it happening. And I think Amazon, I think it's 75 or 750,000 robots already working in the warehouses.
Yep.
That's a lot of robots, bro.
It is.
Member for 16 months. This is a lie. I've been a member since Isaac was in diapers, for the love of God.
And bro has one more month over me and calls me a toddler.
Oh my God. What up, DVD? Okay. Looks like Trump and Hegseth have militarized and placed the U.S. border under military control. Literally the entire U.S. border, I keep wanting to say Boulder, stretching from the city of San Diego to the to the coast of California, all the way up to the city of El Paso in West Texas. Here's a visual, and this guy, he makes me laugh. He's on.
Look at me, guys.
Yeah. So you have a militarized border now. Nice to see our military actually paying attention to our own country rather than trying to get ready to go protect the border of someone across the planet that I literally have nothing to do with. Thank you very much. Now, when it comes to borders, comes times, even in crypto, where people tell you to give up. Well, here's just a quick reminder and a view of where the original colony border was versus the British and how the revolution started here.
Pretty accurate.
That's what's up, man. You never give up. You never give up. You consolidate, you get your ducks in a row, and you go out there and claim what is yours. Now, talking about trade negotiations, 18 trading partners are setting up to do trade negotiations with the United States. We're doing bespoke deals. God, I hate that word, bespoke.
Bespoke? Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like, what was that word that Kamala came out with? Was it demure? It sounds like demure.
Yeah, I don't care.
It gives me demure vibes.
Bad.
Yeah. He's going to be intimately involved with everyone. That sounds sexual. 2 weeks ago, when we had the Japanese delegation come in, he started in the Oval Office. This again sounds sexual. This is Bill Clinton era stuff here. He laid the groundwork. What's with the sexual innuendos on these trade deals?
I don't know.
told them personally how important the relationship was. What is going on? And also how important a fair deal for the American people is. Sounds like things are getting very intimate in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
with
very
these trade.
freaky.
Yeah. The Chinese vice commerce minister came out and said China is going to have to actively expand imports. Wait, so it will have to rebalance its trade surplus?
Oh no.
It's on the tip of China's tongue to admit that they have no dog in this fight, other than they need a customer to buy all of the garbage that they produce in their slave workshops across their city centers. Now, the People's Bank of China is going to have to keep moderately loose monetary policy, according to Zhu. Imagine that. Imagine that. They're going to play patty cake because they don't want the currency general to push his finger on their commercial real estate and their residential real estate markets and collapse the yuan even further than it has been collapsing over the past few months. Let's see. Oral Office. That's what we should name it.
Exactly. Well, not anymore, but when Biden was in there, probably.
All the fake Nikes going up in price. You know, if Nike actually gave a shit about the consumer, they could just absorb the tariff internally. Like everyone's like, a 25% tariff means that the price of the product goes up by 25%. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Like the price goes up by like $2-3 at the originating point of manufacturing. If Nike wanted to stop making, say, 90% profits and maybe cut it down to like 80%, they could still have the exact same price of a product. People don't get this stuff. And that's what this hyperbolic headline crap from the left about it. It's just absolutely infuriating, especially from me, who I have a pretty good background in manufacturing. And I understand how supply chains work. Now, okay, this is crazy. This is a shout out to AOC and her supporters.
We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you really support. It's not enough, even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many.
Even if you would bomb
too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies.
The AOC right now is like, what the fuck?
Get this bitch under control.
Yeah, let's not eat babies. Okay?
And let's not bomb Russia.
Why is Sharon McCrotch in the chat? Jesus.
I don't know.
So I think this is AOC kind of looking at her mirror / her creation. Or this girl is just a god level troll, right? Maybe she's just a god level troll. God, she's thinking, what a great new direction. Oh my. Now, I talk about cultural stuff quite a bit, but I think cultural things matter. And I think if you don't acknowledge what's happening culturally across the world, it has monetary repercussions. Not only monetary, but very intrinsic repercussions on the family unit. And I do want to watch just this. This is what's going on in the UK. All right. We're going to just kind of absorb the psychosis, the mental of these people and what is happening.
So if I hold up this navy blue mark and say that's orange, and use one of those, we have to be using words that have the same meaning. It's navy blue. So when I say it's navy blue, then you have to understand that as the same thing as I understand that. Otherwise, it's a meaningless conversation. So when we have a conversation about what is a woman, we need to all know what we mean by that. Now, it's your view and the view of many activists, I'm not saying you are, and many activists, that women has a number of different categories. People who were born women and are women, and men who believe that they are women or have a piece of paper saying they are women. The Supreme Court was very, very clear.
Yeah.
They're saying not only is the law now, they're saying it has always been the case that because you have a piece of paper, even a piece of paper, a gender recognition certificate, saying that you are legally a woman if you're born a man, you are not in fact a woman. Do you not accept that, or do you accept that ruling?
I mean, like that whatever. Like
no,
for
that's
me,
not an answer to a question.
Let me finish
You're not a 12-year-old.
Let me finish my sentence. That is to me whatever, because for me and my community,
trans women are women. They have always existed. They will always continue to exist.
What does that mean? They've existed.
Well,
no one's saying they're figments of imagination.
Yeah, but we are saying that they're women.
No, you're saying they exist is not the same as saying they're women.
Well, I'm saying that they're women,
and that's not the same as saying they exist.
If the law doesn't want to,
so we need to use words that have meaning.
Well, here's the words that have the meaning, because I've spent time to write these words, right, for you.
And we listen.
Frankly, I would rather share a bathroom with 100 trans women than one legal biological woman who wants to know what's inside my pants. And Julia, if I'm right in remembering, you did ask me what my genitals look like once live on TV.
I think that was in the context of a conversation and you raised that issue yourself.
I remember the quote. You don't have dangly bits, do you? So do you
dangly bits
or not? Because frankly, I am now feeling in a position where I'm in a room with you and I feel unsafe. Yeah.
You feel unsafe.
I feel unsafe.
She feels
I
unsafe.
feel my heart racing. My hands are starting to sweat. Do you want to touch my hand?
Because you're losing the argument because you're a moron.
And I actually think I'm about to have a panic attack from sitting in a room with you. So I'd like to leave now. What? Yeah.
So you're feeling, you were asked to come on the show to have a conversation.
And I've had a conversation.
We had a very nice,
we've had a conversation.
Well, you read out a statement, and now I'd like to ask you
your statement.
I
did at the beginning.
A statement. No, that's me introducing the topic for people who are just tuning in and
you added your ad libs. You got to say what you thought about it. I've said my piece, and now I'd really like to go.
I thought you were actually plugged into a mic there. I thought we were going to have a conversation.
Bam! Oh man. And these people will ban themselves eventually, but it's all about mental illness. If they don't get help at a mental level early on, I think that there's a disconnect, that might be found if we really pull the shades back on what's going on with these people in each different section, situation. Maybe just a lack of family, a lack of caring, a lack of focus at a family unit level, right?
Exactly.
It just kind of seems like there's a common denominator there. Isaac.
Yo.
So they're going to be filming that what do you call it? EOTech commercial. They want me to box. I don't have abs. I can't do that.
You don't need to.
I can't.
You're too based to.
Maybe I should. I just go with my dad bod.
Exactly. Go with the dad bod and punch the shit out of the thing.
Maybe I should.
Exactly.
Maybe I should. All right. I do feel like talking about altcoins here, but this is cool. Ray-Bans, I'm now going to be able to translate languages live with these bad boys. These things are freaking awesome too. If you want a body cam, and not have to wear the stupid thing, you can always have this like when you're driving, let's say a road rage incident or something. It's always good to have an ability to record things, but these are going to have the ability to translate language live. Also, I'm terrified of Eddie Hall. This is Eddie Hall versus Marius. I'm not going to be able to say that last name, but Eddie Hall, I am terrified of this man.
Już trzeba zaczynać, Eddie, to już jest walka. Czy Mariusz będzie w stanie wykorzystać swoje doświadczenie? Czy utrzyma? To jest niemożliwe! Ale awantura bije szol! Zraniony budzian idzie po nogi!
He threw him like a pillow. That man weighs 250 pounds. He threw him like a pillow. I am terrified of Eddie Hall. A lot of people were like, oh, he's fighting an actual fight. The guy's got like 27 MMA fights. Marius. And Eddie Hall came in there like a bowling ball. He had Miley Cyrus up in that. They don't have abs and they're bad. That's true. That's true.
Exactly.
Huh. I got like a weird body structure. Like I definitely have abs up top, and then I just have like this line at the bottom. It never goes away.
That's fair.
It is what it is. Eddie Hall, shout out to you, dude. Good ass job. I'm still going to be trying to get a hold of George because I could get a ticket. Give me a ticket.
At least let me get in.
I know.
Yeah.
I got to find someone like maybe someone that's like with the community that's most opposed to Chainlink, or go find their leader or something like that.
Something like that.
All right. What is this? Quentin with the bull market indicator, short-term holder, MVRV score, right at the flat line, ready to make a move on the way up. Every time we hit this flat line, you do see that we get that good upswing. This is in tandem with 3-week green dots being printed on the money flow. And I'm still trading on that bias over the next few months here. Now, a very, very important, let's talk about, so we're putting a bunch of money into crypto, right? Bitcoin, altcoins. And if you're in altcoins, it is the wild, wild west. I'll just say that. First and foremost, you are going into a gunfight in altcoins. It is PvP, and not most of the people that are investing in altcoins lose money. Most of them. You have to be very, very good at taking profits. You have to know about the literal thunderdome that you're getting into when you're investing outside of Bitcoin. You have a month or two, maybe 3 per bull market where you're outpacing Bitcoin and you're gaining Satoshis. Most of the time, you're losing Satoshis. And when we look at great products or altcoins or DeFi lending thing, anything that has to lock your tokens up for a certain amount of time, this lesson is for that context. Just remember this. This is from Hoang. Turned $2,700 into $392,000 in his first cycle and still somehow lost. Sounds insane. Let's dig in. It's the first cycle. He was learning and he thought that the yield advertised was real. I thought you could retire on it. At this point, I was completely new to crypto and wasn't seasoned. I was just a regular bell end that puts loads of hours in and managed to get early into multiple metas like NFTs, GameFi, DeFi, you name it. He increased his stack enough to the point where he was tossing a few grand into coins that gave insane APR, yearly returns, and somehow nailed it. Watch that 2,700 balloon into nearly $400,000 in just a few months. It didn't even feel real. And it was like watching numbers go up in a video game. He's already mentally spending it in his mind. And the yield he was making per day is 20 times more than he'd earn from 2 days of work. He can go part-time at that point, right? Be like, I can retire. This is it. Now, he thought even if this coin drops 50%, he could retire off the yield and it would still generate. Lol. The problem, the tokens he bought were locked for 2 years. This is so key. When you're looking at locking up for the return, think about the time frame on how long it's going to be locked up for. If your unlock date takes you into the next perceived bear market / accumulation market for altcoins, think about that.
Yeah.
Same thing as Taco, locked in Polygon, as Polygon just continues to fall down.
Yeah.
Right. And that was a shit. He's always talking, are you staking? Are you staking? I was like, I mean, I didn't want to lock into Polygon because of that time frame. You have to really think about what token, like Vet said, and because everyone, I see a lot of people, and Vet is doing an awesome job, but it's about the time frame that you're locking it, the amount that you're locking in, what's your risk tolerance. Think about all of those things. Bitcoin was ripping. Now, it's on CT. Everyone feeling like you're still early, and they're going to keep saying that even when Bitcoin hits 120, 170, they're going to say, you're still early. Bitcoin was ripping. Ethereum was ripping at the time. And even dog coins were making people rich overnight. But then the crash. It's not slow. When crashes come, they are violent. And as soon as risk comes off, it's literally like someone flipped a switch and the floor just drops out beneath you. The 400K started shrinking. First 250, 180, 90. And meanwhile, he couldn't touch it because it's locked. He watched helplessly as months of being pre-rich just evaporated into thin air. Luckily, he made 10x of his original investment, which is great from the yield, but it was nowhere near what he would have made in total. Here's the key lessons. If you can't actually sell it, you don't actually have it. Paper gains mean nothing unless and until you cash them out. And everyone's a genius in a bull market, but the real pros have a hedge. If you could go back, he would have avoided locking the tokens altogether. Don't stake tokens for yield. Greed blinded him. I thought I can retire on this yield. When the token drops 90%, just know that it can drop more. It can drop another 90% in the future. Alts tend to zero or trend to zero. The majority don't make comebacks in the next bull. So these are very, very, very important things to think about when you're looking at DeFi. And Vet is in the chat. His DeFi crypto and airdrops. Great place to learn all of the different ins and outs of how long the vesting periods are, the lock periods, what the places to do it are, because it is very, very complex. There are ways to make passive income off of it, but Jesus Christ, be careful. And also, Crypto Stevo gave me this video, and I don't even know who this is, this channel here, but this is a comparison of portfolios of pretty big channels. Let's go here. Yeah, who is this? What is this? Simone McFadden, kind of a small channel. And I think this is AI generated, but they aggregated all of the biggest influencers' portfolios together. They picked the altcoins that the influencer was bullish on in March of 2024. Keep in
Uh-huh.
mind, everything was ripping March of 2024.
That is really true.
There was a lot of up only thought, right? There's a lot of it's going up forever type thought. And this Brian Young, Elio Trades, House of Crypto, Crypto Ran, Alex Becker, No BS Crypto, Altcoin Daily. Something to think about here, and it really, really made me cognizant, is when I look at my portfolio, understanding, I'm going to go to my portfolio for you guys, and we're going to walk through this. Understanding the average entries for literally every coin that you hold is extremely important. Understand the average entry. Equiniscu Ocha put me in timeout. What is he talking
That's
about?
my name. That's my name. Thanks to your dad.
Oh my god.
So fine. That's the second. That's the second
Oh my
super.
God.
That's the second super chat he put asking me to put him in timeout. So
Oh my
I'll do
Lord.
it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I need to crash out anyway.
You are
Yeah.
banned!
We had like I will give the precursor, like I went through the video and he is cherry picking the time frame of March 2024. And yeah, a lot of these guys were top blasted. Now, my approach, and I've said it time and time again, is I am not consistently DCAing. I am only at buying in bulk when I have a massive, massive pullback on the momentum wave of Bitcoin and when fear is at extremes. When you buy matters a lot. Now, in aggregate, Bitcoin's here to stay. Fine, DCA that. But altcoins, when you buy, matters a lot. And understanding your average entry point also matters a lot. So let's look at this portfolio just to exercise the frame of thought that I need everyone to understand here. Ethereum, I have like $50 left. I got completely out of Ethereum. Ethereum was one of my biggest movers last cycle. Got it at $180, got rid of it at $4,500. And I only kept a little bit around for gas. Now, Ethereum taught me a big lesson on how long the locking is and really the risk of earning yield, because what was left was on Celsius and that was taken from me. XRP, the average entry is 17 cents and I only hold a few hundred tokens. I got rid of a vast majority of my XRP at 70 cents. Still a good upswing. Swapped it into some other coins that have had some great upside since. Cardano, I am losing on Cardano. I bought a bag. I've been in and out of Cardano. Originally it was 30 cents, sold at 60, then bought a little bit more, a small amount at $1. And when it dropped down into the 60-cent range, I helped that average entry point by really kind of rounding out the Cardano bag. The average entry is right at around 80 cents for Cardano. So this one I'm down on. Chainlink, average entry, $3.90. This is the vast majority of my altcoin bag. This is the bag that's actually, and people like alts can never outpace Bitcoin. Even with a shitty performance from Chainlink so far, I am flatline and keeping up with Bitcoin's upward trajectory. Because think about it. You swap out, in a big point of it was, the change up. Bitcoin's at 30K, Chainlink's at $5, but my average my previous buys were at $1.90. So I hammered more in at $5, thus bringing the average entry point up to $3.90. Bitcoin is at 30K, right? What's 3 times 4 is 12. I am actually doing just as good, if not just slightly better than Bitcoin, even with a poor performance on Chainlink, because about when you get in, about having the balls to buy it when it's cheap, when the fear is there, and when everyone's freaking out. Now, Avalanche, YOLO'd in at $10. Things are going great. That's a pretty simple. And I also took a ton of profits when it hit $52 a unit. Have no fear. Nobody goes poor taking profits, because guess what happened to Avalanche? Price reset, right? Now, Ondo, the average entry is at 40 cents. This one, it's only 40 cents because the original buys were very, very cheap, but then I bought a little bit more. I think it was like 80 or 90 cents. So it brought the entry points up. Jupiter is an airdrop. I have like maybe $100 worth of artificial super intelligence token. I don't even know when I got it. It doesn't really matter to me. Aerodrome, the average entry is very similar to Ondo. It's at 40 cents. It's about got in at 18 cents. take some off the top when it hits above $2. And then I added 3 times at each 50-cent hit. So the
Yeah.
average entry is now 40 cents. Morpho average entry is 90 cents. And here's a great lesson on Morpho is I know that this is a solid project. I know that Coinbase has chosen it to be kind of the in-app lending and swap system for Coinbase. And Coinbase is the king of UI. I think Coinbase is going to be around for a while. So when I first saw it come out, I was like, man, I want to have this in my base plays list. And I bought a small amount at $1.20 in this kind of first little blip in the map. And what I saw was that, holy shit, we broke below that original level and we fell all the way down to, it was 79 cents.
Yeah.
I went in with size, much, much heavier than I did in this realm at 87 cents. Now the average entry is about 90 cents. It's doing fine. It's actually pretty well up from where it is. Plume, average entry, 13 cents. Only one big buy. It's doing great. Plume has been holding up incredible. Constellation, 2 cents. I've been talking about for a long time. You get in early, you sit there and watch everyone start to FOMO in later. We build these bags a long time ago. So I'm telling you people this now because we're about to hop back into the hyper FOMO stage. And these lessons and knowledge is what you need to think about when you see the hyper FOMO stage come into play. So, and then Moonwell, this is a big one. This is part of the DeFi and base ecosystem. When I got into Moonwell, I think I got it for 6 cents and then it dropped down to 5. It fell below this shelf that I was hoping would hold the support level. I had to get out. Crypto Tony asking why we aren't early into Caspa early. We mined Caspa at a fraction of a cent. So there you go.
Bam.
Years ago. Gotcha. Got him. He thinks we don't know about Caspa. I know about Caspa. We have a Caspa miner. But you know what? I'm watching that one pretty close. I worry about they tried to do the meme thing. That's not the way to go for a proof of work system. You ain't no Doge token. You know what I mean? I hope things strong. What happened to Mr. Mark? Why are you banning one of my best mods?
banned!
Because I can.
God. Moonwell, I had to insulate myself from the downturn when I did see we lost this support level. And then I rebuilt the bag at 3 cents. I'm literally flatlined on Moonwell. But when you buy, matters a shitload. Okay? When you buy, matters a shitload. Yes, we still have it. Has it come? Yes. Now, what also is in this is, remember Drift, Isaac?
Yeah.
Drift is messing around. Is it still at that original entry point? Because I got it at 50 cents. I got out at like 260 or it was like 230 or something like that.
Let's
Drift,
go
let's
find
look at
out.
Drift. I want to look at Drift. Let's go.
Drift Protocol.
52 cents.
Yeah, nice.
Complete price reset. Good.
I'm okay with that.
So this is a lesson. Take fucking profits.
Exactly.
Take profits. If you see the 3 to 5x and it happened in a very, very short amount of time, please, for the love of God, pay yourself. Like, what are we in this for? To like look cool and like take snapshots of like 10,000x gains? Doobie Doo is coming down to you.
I know. That was funny.
Oh, Mr. Mark. Simply because there's no adoption yet, you wait for the adoption. I mean, I think the adoption's here for Bitcoin. When the adoption happens for altcoins like this cycle, that's a good thing. Yeah, just wait for adoption. Sure. I think the closest things to adoption are, things within the Coinbase and base ecosystem that are kind of putting the pressure on banks, Chainlink. But for the adoption of the auxiliaries, I understand like it's going to happen to a point where how long are we going to be waiting and hoping for it to come? That's something I think about. DCA and Prey, don't ever worry about that. DCA and Prey, that's kind of what I was talking about with the trades. The same stuff will happen to me where I have like, I'll put in a trade, let's say at 75, and then I took profits at 87, like I did on the vast majority of the bag. I left like 10, maybe less % of the trade active so that I'm not feeling that FOMO and I'm still riding that up, a little moon bag. You can leave moon bags behind in all like spot positions, where you leave a little bit on the table, just house money to see what else it can do for you, but also in trading. So you don't have that FOMO as the price continues to move up, and you're correct, and you called the right move in the chart, but you're sitting here kicking yourself because you didn't hold the whole, the position. Just leave it a little bit on the side. You know what I mean? Let it keep working for you, because maybe something like Crypto Tony is talking about does happen, and Caspa is adopted by, freaking Bank of Russia or something like that. Who knows? And then all of a sudden, a Giga candle comes to Caspa, which is a deep alt pick. That's a good protocol, but it gets randomly chosen. Then you have a moon bag that is going above and beyond to the moon. And you know what? I accidentally left some of the XRP behind, but now that's my little moon bag. And it's also my ticket to the XRP Hangout Club, so I can sit there and flood my own bags, and they can't say anything about it. Right?
Fair. Yep.
Something to think about there. Oh, man. So much. I feel like there's a lot that I just said there. And we're heading into a realm where there's going to be another wave of this market and another upswing. And you have to remain focused. Okay. You have to set goals in your mind on what's going to tangibly change your life for the better. For me, that is more Bitcoin, more real estate, vehicles, guns, and gold, and maybe some chickens, right? I need to up my chicken flock. So I have to do that. But what will tangibly improve your life? What makes it better? What are you in this for? Is it just to, see if Cardano is the replacement of the voting system in the United States, and then you hold it for 15 years to see it happens? Then fine. Just know that that's your prerogative. Don't be surprised if it doesn't actually happen in reality, because that's a whole, we're talking about private Web3 systems trying to plug into the existing ecosystem of what the internet is. As you can see from the problem in Spain and Portugal today, there's a big need to upgrade the systems and to make them sustainable and honestly hardened. But there's going to be many, many losers in the private sector along the way. So just keep that in mind. Isaac, how's your trade doing? You look like you're excited.
I'm up 6% right now, so I'm no longer crashing out. I'm kidding. I was never crashing out in the first place.
Crashing out.
Yes, sir. So we're up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Now, where'd you get in at?
I got in at 93,756, and it's at 93,954.
Stop it.
Take profit at 95K, because that'll be a good little grab for me, and I wouldn't mind it at all.
You're going in there with a plan.
Going in there with a plan. If you don't go in there with a plan, you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah.
Stop loss is your friend.
Crashing out while trading is a guarantee. Even
and it's
if
also
things
tons
go
of fun. Great entertainment, and the people love it.
Yeah, I agree with World War II, 2008 or 208. I think Constellation DAG would be the best thing for voting. Constellation DAG would probably be the most connected and closest to that finish line, actually, because they've been working with the Treasury, the Department of Defense, and all these hardened, high-end requirements for data security systems in the United States for years through our Project Iron Spider. So, something there. I think there's something big coming for Constellation DAG. I don't know exactly what it will be, because their focus is basically data security and encryption, crypto encryption. Crazy. Imagine that. So with that being said, it's a beautiful day out here. We're absolutely ready for the biggest change that the world has ever seen when it comes to data communication, data security, and the transfer of value. It's happening right before our eyes. And to be in before all this is happening is really quite an amazing feeling for me. On top of that, this is my job to research and to call out crap when I see it and call out good things as I see it. I am extremely blessed to be, supported by you, the community here in the blockchain basement, to be able to do this every single day. And if you want to become your own bank, if you want to flex on the bank system a little bit, click the link in our description, use code BASE10 and get your own Arculus cold storage wallet, take your crypto off an exchange, and cause even more of a supply shock for these nation states as they decide to FOMO in late a year or two from now on Bitcoin holdings. And you can laugh with your own cold storage device holding your Bitcoin safe and sound. And also, if you are interested in trading and getting in with the calls, click the link in our description for the Discord. That's where my morning stream with Isaac is going. I think we're just going to do it every day.
Every day. I mean, why not?
It's fun. You can talk to me directly in there. become a member, get in the OG chat. And in the OG chat, I'm going to give you my trade entries literally as they happen, unless they happen live on the show, because I don't have 10 hands and I can't get in there immediately. But OG chat, that's where you're going to find all that after hours stuff. And I love and appreciate every single one of you. I respect what you're doing, trying to outpace inflation, provide a better future. Also, giveaway time, Isaac.
Yeah, that's true.
Giveaway time.
Let's pick it out now. Why don't
Yes. Well, you get the number generator app for
I'll
me.
get a number.
Get the number generator, because I didn't want to do it off air, because then they'd say it was scam.
Give me what's it called?
A
The
number.
number of.
All right,
I'm
let's
sorry,
go. We got a
reposts.
lot of reposts.
Yeah, I need how many? Let me
we
pull
got
it up for you.
52 reposts.
All right, so 1 out of 52.
Yeah, we got 52.
Bet.
All right, let's go to this. So we got
Random number generator.
All right, we got 52 reposts. Let's go. Let's view the quotes.
52. All right.
Let's view the reposts. This includes all of them, right?
Yeah, I'm also gonna get my screen.
Hold
Also,
on,
Nicole
sig.
Menace, we stream in the Discord at like 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be in the Discord.
Yeah, we're gonna be in there every single day.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen if it wants to let me here.
I'm making sure this includes. So what we'll do is we want to make sure that we're including the quoted tweets with the regular just reposts. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put the quoted reposts in the middle. So we have 52 total.
Yeah.
So quotes.
Oh, here, let me go over here.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, you want me to hit it now?
Yeah, so we have 52 total, right?
82 total. 3, 2, 1. Random number generator.
Let's see here.
22.
Number 22?
22. Yes, indeed.
All right. Now we have to interject the quoted quotes randomly into the total number of 52, because that's got to be fair.
Okay.
Okay. So pull that up again. So we have 22 as the chosen number, right?
Yeah, I'm not chosen number is 22. I'm not going to pull it up again because it's going to show all the studio stuff.
Mhm.
So do I run it again? So
out of 52 total.
out of 52, run
Yeah.
it again. Cool.
Yeah.
Chosen number is 22. We got 44.
Okay. So we're going to interject. Okay. So the quoted ones aren't it, because they're going to be 44 on up. Right. So it's number 22 just in general.
Yeah.
Because that just randomly selected where to put the quoted quotes into, and that's 44 through 47. So it's number 22 on the repost list that just won this Arculus cold storage device. So let's go take a look. Who won it? We got Dukester here. Sufficient. All right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Mr. Scotty Mac. All right, then. Wow, what a profile picture, too. Look at this.
Nice.
Look at this guy. Now I'm going to give him a follow, and we're going to get a message going on here. You know what? I might not be able to message this guy. Let's see here. I'm going to have to figure out.
He doesn't even follow you.
Well, he saw the show.
Yeah, no, I'm messing
You
with him.
know, sassy profile for sure. I'm
Very.
going to just tweet at him from the Blockchain Basement account and let him know he just won a Arculus cold storage device. This is gay. I'm sorry, Laserface. Did Laserface come close?
I think so.
Did he?
I think it was like 20 or 19.
It's pretty good odds, though. There's only 52 people doing it. You know what I mean? Also, we're going to have to figure out Mr. Scotty Mac's size of shirt. That's going to be important to know in this process. I love and appreciate you guys. And now let's go check out the charts with Kelly Kellum and everything that he's looking at on the charts, because it is a beautiful day to be in crypto. Love and appreciate you guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon.